From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say a very good Wednesday evening, everyone, and welcome to Rivalry Family Media's coverage of high school basketball tonight from inside the gym at Leominster High School. Tonight, girls basketball takes center stage as Leominster gets set to play host to the Knights of St. Paul Diocesan. Leominster and St. Paul up, Blue Devils and Knights. Leominster brings a 1-3 record into tonight's contest. Meanwhile, St. Paul 2-2 in what has been a COVID-modified season, to say the least. St. Paul has been shut down due to COVID protocols all the way back to December 22nd. They played their last game on Tuesday night, December the 21st. It was on the road at Hopedale, a big 54-26 victory for the Knights in that game on the road, although Hopedale's star Division I player did not play in that game. Follow that up with a COVID case for St. Paul, and that, of course, shut them down prior to the holiday. They have not played in 2022 at this point. Leominster, meanwhile, they played their last game on Thursday, December the 23rd. It was a win here at home against Oakmont, a 38-17 victory for the Lady Blue Devils. And then Leominster, although not COVID shut down, they lost their vacation week game against Tantascwa. They were able to continue playing, but they have not played a game, or practicing, they have not played a game since December the 23rd. And that is the backdrop under which we find ourselves this evening, and we say good evening courtside. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Great to have you along with us. Of course, if you're looking at the screen going, St. Paul, who is that? It's probably the first time you've tuned into a telecast and got a chance to see St. Paul, which is a merger. It's a new name and a new identity, about a year and a half old now. And of course, COVID has had something to do with the fact you may not have noticed at this point, as they take two fantastic school and athletic traditions and put them together. Well, the former Holy Name Central Catholic High School combined with St. Peter Marian High School together, now merged for a year and a half under the combined banner of St. Paul Diocesan and the Knights. New school colors, new school traditions, but they bring all that background, and what I can tell you is they brought a lot of fantastic female athletes into this school. Those two programs, Holy Name and St. Peter Marian, always fantastic in the world of girls athletics in central Massachusetts. So great tradition comes together here in this St. Paul squad that you will see here tonight. As assistant coach Ron Scarborough said to me in our interactions prior to the game, they are a Division III sized school playing a Division I schedule, and that is the only way they said they know how to compile a schedule. As we turn to the action tonight, Bill Thomas, the common opponent, of course, is Hopedale. Leominster was soundly beaten in their game against Hopedale, but they were soundly beaten by one very good Division I prospect. Meanwhile, St. Paul turned the tables on Hopedale, took advantage of the opportunity when they didn't have to play that Division I prospect, and they took it to Hopedale when they had their chance. That's the common opponent you have for these two schools. Both of them have been laid off since long before the new year. What do you expect to see on the floor tonight?
Well, I think that just shows how important one player can be at this level. When a player that, you can throw in 25 or 30 and can really dominate a game, how they can control the game. And that's what happened when Leominster faced Hopedale. But it was nice to see him bounce back with a win, finally get that first win of the season. And they're getting one of their top players back who's been injured so far this season, right through. Kylie Cudahy, I believe, is going to make her first appearance of the season this week tonight. And she's playing with a knee brace on. We'll have to see how that hampers her, but I'm excited to see her get back in action, hopefully, and maybe bring a little bit of energy to the court. But just coming off that first win, a nice win, and apparently some good defense was played in that game. I think it's really something for the Leominster Lady Blue Devils to build on.
Kate, of course, for these two teams, Leominster has been shut down because there was nobody to play during the winter break. St. Paul was shut down because they had a COVID circumstance that they had to deal with as far as the COVID protocols go. Leominster has been able to practice right along to this point. Meanwhile, on the other side, St. Paul has had two practices since their pause ended, and they come into this game tonight.
It's a very interesting situation, obviously, now with back to school this week after the holiday break. Most schools, and if you're a parent or if you're just a conscious member of a community, you know that clearly there's some spikes going on in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The sport programs, high school athletic programs, they are about a week ahead on this flare-up because most programs were, essentially affected one way or another, either through their being shut down or an opponent being shut down within the last 7 to 10 days. That continues. So essentially the COVID gauntlet, if you don't think that a winter season is grueling and a marathon enough, now you have to add the gauntlet of you do not know what tomorrow brings. Okay, one of the things that athletes kind of thrive on and coaches thrive on is consistency, is scheduling. What time is the game? What is my preparation? What am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I getting ready mentally, physically throughout the day? And a lot of times you're not finding out, okay, are we practicing today? No. Do I have a game today? Do I have to get on a bus today? Is my bus going to show up? Is there going to be is school open? Is there going to be a bus driver? Is, Dr. Dubzinski going to be my bus driver today? You don't have any idea. And so that kind of puts a wrench into things, and that consistency that athletics thrives on right now is not consistent. And so it becomes not just a physical game, it becomes more of a mental game just to get to a tip-off, let alone to then execute any type of game plan that a coaching staff, if they're even here, is able to implement as well.
And that, of course, brings us right into the point that Leominster tonight head coach Rusty Frederick is joining us from out in viewing land tonight, as he himself is part of COVID protocol, so he will not be here this evening. It will be coached by committee over on the Leominster bench tonight. Assistant coach Megan McNiff will step in along with Chris Pompey and Kelly Marciano. So it'll be a committee of coaches that will suit up for Leominster tonight and guide this team. It's Blue Devils and Knights. Action coming up here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Introductions coming your way in a moment as well, followed by the national anthem and tip-off. We got it all for you here tonight on RFM. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to 2022.
Tonight's event sanctioned by the MIAA and the Midland Wachusett League. Fans are reminded to positively support student athletes, coaches, and officials. Be loud, be proud, be positive. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting St. Paul Knights. At guard, a senior, number 22, Zaylee Williams. At guard, a senior, number 25, Shirley Angel. Forward, a sophomore, number 33, Lauren Dakota. Also a forward, a junior, number 41, Kiara Kentanucci. Forward, a senior, number 51, Natalie Horton. Knights are coached by Barry assistant director Scarborough and Nick D'Andrea. Now let's meet your Leominster High School Blue Devils. At guard, a freshman, number 2, Gina Hardwell. At guard, a junior, number 4, Isabella Newberg. At forward, a sophomore, number 23,
And with that, we're ready for basketball here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Smaller crowd on hand this evening. This week, the Midwatch athletic directors and principals got together, and they have limited the crowd size to families of student athletes who live in the same home. So, Bill Thomas, a much smaller crowd, not as small as when we were talking to everybody when they were at home last year during the onset of this pandemic and the return to high school athletic events. So a little bit of a crowd, but a little bit more of a, shall we say, an intimate crowd here inside the gym tonight.
What I will say is I'm happy they didn't pull the plug on all fans. You at least got to allow family members. I can see limiting students and friends, but I'm glad to see they've come to a happy compromise.
And a happy compromise is a nice compromise inside of the gym tonight. Referee Bill Goslin gets ready to toss the ball at midcourt as we get set for action tonight here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Frankie Bello will take the tip for Leominster.
Where have we heard that name, Bill Goslin?
I was going to say, where have we? Natalie Horton wins the tip, the senior for the Knights, and they will go right to left here in quarter number 1. Right away, 3 launched from straightaway by Major. Doesn't go. Rebound tipped loose, and Caldwell will run away with the basketball. Leominster will go left to right here in quarter number 1. Step up. Forsberg pops the long 3 and gets it to go.
Nice start right there. You like to hit that first one. Major coming off a 19-point night. So we'll have to see if Lady Blue Devils can keep her corralled.
If you're going to come out of the chute and hit the shot that you're looking for. From straight away, shot will not go. Ball tipped down loose, and now a foul on the inside as Gentilucci got the shot up, drew the contact.
Lady Blue Devils unable to control that rebound.
Bello
Second
picks up.
chance opportunity. Sorry, Kate.
Not a problem. Bello picks up her first team first for the Blue Devils.
And the first one will go for Gentilucci at the line. Second one won't go. Battle for the rebound. Tipped out of bounds. Last touch, they say, off of Leominster, and so the Knights will keep the basketball.
Blue Devils trying to inbound. Nope, not going to happen.
Loose ball. Drive toward the top of the key. Dropped off. It's Dakota. Bank shot will not go, and Bellows got herself the rebound.
No, Bella should have a good night underneath tonight. She's big, she's tall. I hope she plays with her hands up. Be a presence in there.
Cross court. This is Nevard. The drive draws the contact on Horton as she drove through the low block, did Nevard. Horton was never able to set her feet, and Nevard ran into her, drawing the contact in 2 shots.
Horton's first team first for the Knights.
3-1 here in the early going. Leominster with that lone 3. Now Nevard's first at the line. 4-1 Leominster, 6:55 to play here in the first quarter. Second one will go for Nevard as well, and Leominster out to the early 5-1 lead. Near side 3, swung around to the out, and this is Major who hits the 3. And all of a sudden, here come the Knights within 1. Cross court skip, stepped to the lane, picked there, and back down floor comes Dakota from right to left. Excuse me, that's Ramos, the drive down the line. And the shot is waved off, called a travel, and the ball will go back the other way in the hands of Leominster. 6:27 to play here in quarter 1, and a 5-4 Leominster lead. Reset the net. They got trapped after the last shot. We apologize, some technical difficulties with the on-screen graphics. We'll get those checked out at the end of quarter number 1. As we move our way down the floor, this is Nevard. Floats it back up top, looking for Caldwell, and that's an over and back. An unforced error there, Bill Thomas.
All I want to know is my television pictures going through.
That's all.
Clear as could be, Bill Thomas.
Unforced error, and Lady Blue Devils going to have to limit that, especially if Major has the ball in her hands, and you just don't want to give St. Paul extra opportunities.
Drop and replace there. Major drives the lane, swings it over to the wing to Koto from the right side. Shot does not go. Rebound loose to the inside. This is Caldwell, and she'll dribble the basketball out of trouble.
Great job right there, not getting tied up.
Good call, Bill Thomas. Also, right now, Leominster doing a nice job out-rebounding the Knights.
Nevard caught in a double team in the corner, switches back, finds Pompey, fires up a three, doesn't go. Smallest person on the floor, Caldwell, the rebound and put back. That won't fall either. Tough two-shot opportunity on the possession for Leominster, not able to convert either.
Nice give and go right there.
Indeed, and then the bounce inside for Horton. Got tipped away in the lane, and Pompey dribbles out with it. Goes long distance down floor, finds Caldwell. Couple of jab steps, drop it back. Nevard tries the runner. Off the rim, does not go. Lost out of bounds, and it was only Knights along the baseline. And the ball will stay with Leominster, and they get a fresh 30.
Two St. Paul girls fighting for that rebound there. Lucky for the Blue Devils, comes back.
This is Nevard, caught in a double team off the inbound. Now Pompey goes with a skip, swing it through Forsberg. Corner Caldwell, three, got the front rim, no. Battle for the rebound, loose. Bello will come up with it off the floor. Got the shot off, didn't fall. And Gentilucci comes out with the rebound for the Knights.
Multiple opportunities on those last few offensive possessions for the Blue Devils, and that's what they're going to need here in order to be victorious.
Nice double clutch by Major, got the shot off, didn't go, tipped out of bounds, and the ball will go back to Leominster. 4:49 to play here in quarter one, and a 5-4 Leominster lead here on RFM tonight.
Good back and forth action. Girls started out scoring, but a little lid on the basket here last couple of possessions.
Nevard sends it back to Forsberg. Forsberg fakes left, dribbles right, gives it to Nevard. 15 to shoot. Nevard slashes the lane, got tipped, loose ball, run down on the play. Now forward it goes. Major out in front of the drive, cuts across the defender Forsberg, and Sherla Major will finish at the rim and put the Knights on top. 6-5 here in quarter one, halfway through this first quarter.
Billy Thomas,
great job right there.
Yeah, gorgeous move by Major.
Shielding
there.
the ball from with her body and then just cutting through the lane.
And Major steps in, ties up Forsberg. Alternate possession favors Leominster.
She is a gamer.
Indeed she is, and seemingly all over the floor.
She certainly is.
Touching the ball every time up and down the court, even on defense, she finds a way to get her hands involved.
And Todd and Billy with that last basket, you see St. Paul take the lead there right now, up 6-5. That scoring drought for Leominster continues. It had gone pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden, a few minutes ago, everything just kind of came to a screeching halt.
We got a three and a couple of foul shots, and that's it.
That's it.
But one thing that I've liked thus far here in the first quarter that we've seen from Leominster has been they are not running around chaotically. It was something we talked about a lot with Coach Rusty Frederick post-game after that game against Wachusett.
Much more systematic in their approach.
Absolutely. There's the slash down the lane. Kelly gets fouled going to the rim. Two shots coming up, although she couldn't finish. 3:59 to play here in the first quarter, and Leominster with a chance to go back on top.
That's a quick second foul for Horton, so it's her second, team second. That's going to be difficult because she is one of the starters for the night. So see her likely to take some time off here in a few minutes.
You know, Todd, you talked about the offense showing a lot more movement, even though early on in the first quarter here, Lady Blue Devils have been practicing, even though they haven't played in 10 days. And that is something we saw a lot of standing around their last game, just working the perimeter and passing it around. No offense to speak of.
6-all, 7-6 Leominster as Kelly goes 2 for 2 from the line. Drop off for Ramos, back to Major. Major drives through the foul line, steps through a double team, got it on the rim, and it just didn't fall for her, and Caldwell's got herself another rebound. Up floor finds Forsberg, stripped from behind by Ramos. Loose ball, still run down. Caldwell Globetrotter style, keeps up the dribble, finds Forsberg. Inside for Bello, back out Forsberg, long two, and that will go, and Leominster's got the 9-6 lead.
Way to work the ball out of trouble right there, find the open girl, a little nice 10-footer. Buries it.
Billy, in the last few possessions, Leominster's been impressive in transition, running back in order to get into that offensive zoning and out-position the Knights.
Yeah, good job. Even waiting for the defense to get by, but they didn't panic when it didn't work out on that fast break. Found an open girl.
Bounce doesn't go. Loose basketball on the floor on the tie-up. The alternate possession favors St. Paul. They'll get another chance on this possession.
Good defense right there by the Lady Blue Devils. St. Paul a little out of sort on this possession. Officials talking it over here on the possession.
Bounce inbound, shot goes, and a nice find, and the bank open. Bosnijak quick into the game, got herself on the board quickly. Forsberg tries to respond, shot doesn't go. Bello tipped the rebound, out of bounds, and the ball will will turn back over to the Knights.
Bello fortunate not to get whistled for reaching over the back there. Just ends up being an out of bounds play.
Major drops it off. The drive for Dakota. Shot doesn't go. Battle for the rebound was tipped loose. Marcotte ran it down. Now tip, loose ball in the paint. Ultimately, Kelly scrambles for it. Gets caught in a tie-up once again. And the alternate possession goes to Leominster.
Good job right there. A lot of bodies on the floor tying that up, though, without a foul.
Hustle play on the inside there. Bill Thomas. Kelly was not giving up on the play.
Absolutely. You like to see that.
This is Caldwell. Floats, looking for Kelly. It got tipped, makes its way around. Shot caught the side of the basket there. It looked like Keenan on the opportunity. That one didn't go. Excuse me, that was Cudahy with her first shot of the season. Bill Thomas, I almost didn't recognize her.
I know it. I saw her out there pregame, but you can't miss that brace she's wearing on her right knee. Good to see her getting some game action, though. First time this season she's found the court.
Timeout taken on the floor. 2:07 to play here in quarter one. A 9-8 Leominster lead here on RFM. Great to have you along with us. So many ways to be a part of this one. Of course, you found us here live on Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. You want the game on demand, available on the same day delay. Check it out on YouTube. YouTube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or you follow that tiny URL right there on your screen. That'll get you there. You want updates on the schedule, upcoming programming as well. Follow @Media Rivalry on Twitter as well. As we say, Bill Thomas, like, follow, and subscribe today, or as the kids are fond of saying, smash that like button, and you've got yourself a part of that.
Literally never.
That's old school. That's old school.
Oh, it's not old school. What class are you teaching?
Is there a like button on TikTok
Not
and Instagram?
Media electives. Key point, media electives. Thank you.
I got to jump in and change subject a little bit back to the game. Very impressed with
Why would
early
you ever
game
want to do that,
action
Bill
from
Thomas?
Shirley Major.
Yes.
I mean, she got the ball handling skills.
Yeah.
I heard one of the fans here at half court saying, get up on it. I think the fan's on to something. You can't let her dribble anywhere near the three-point line. She's going to launch it, or she's going to drive by you. So you got to get up on her and make her play some offense. Don't just give the offense to her.
And coming out of the timeout, Coach Finneran has moved her more to an off guard here, although immediately gets the handoff coming into the front court. She'll now drop it inside of the paint. Nevard with the tip. Tiptoe in the line. It's Bosnijak. Tried that low right block again, and the shot got aborted with Nevard all over her. Out of bounds. Ball back to Leominster. 1:48 to play here in quarter one, and Leominster with that 9-8 lead.
Nice team defense right there. She's tracking the ball.
Inside, back out, back in again, and the walk for Pompey as she shuffled the feet.
Little jump step right there. Defense got up on her unexpectedly.
98 seconds left here in the first quarter. This is the 8th grader McCollum playing the point. She drops it off to Major.
Ooh.
Now the kickback. There was a little shoulder block there. Dakota absorbed,
Nice
and now
save.
McCollum runs it down. Feeds the near side. Loose ball. Finds its way to Major. Finds a lane to the basket. Takes it home and finishes. Back on top go the Knights. Final minute 10 here of quarter number one.
Nice job by the 8th grader not panicking over there when she got in trouble and finding Major.
Spin in the lane for Nevard was short, and the rebound down for Marcotte. Under a minute to play here in quarter one. Handoff to McCollum from Major up top. Near side Dakota. Goes to McCollum. Jumper from the mid-range. Gets it to go from the right wing, and it's 12-9, a three-point lead for the Knights.
Nice job. Way to move without the ball. After that pass, she found the baseline without a defender. Took advantage of it.
This is Cudahy. Kept the pivot foot down and dropped the ball off. The runner by Kelly off the mark. Battle for the rebound. Major wanted it more. She took it away. Tries to go with the down court finish. Drops it off to McCollum instead. Final 16 seconds. Shot clock off here in quarter one. Cudahy, the tip, grabs it in transition. Final 10 seconds here of the first quarter. Cudahy launches a three. Back rim, no. Rebound down for Dakota. Up floor for Major. 2 seconds. Go one. Major holds at the line for the three. It's good if it goes. The bank is open. Count the three at the end of the first quarter. Oh, my.
I thought she pulled up a little too quick, but she knew exactly what she was doing. You got to stay in her face every second. She just showed us why.
Not a direct deposit, Bill Thomas, but that counts all the same. 15-9, St. Paul over Leominster at the end of the first quarter.
You have to call backboard in this game.
Whew, my, oh,
That's a
my, oh,
10-point
my.
quarter for Major.
And an impressive 10-point quarter it was here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Upcoming coverage here on RFM this Friday night, weather permitting, January the 7th, a 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off as the boys return to center stage. Leominster plays host to Shrewsbury and in a good old-fashioned Midwatch Central Massachusetts basketball battle. We say weather permitting, of course, because if you follow along, I suppose you could also throw in COVID permitting as well. If you've been following along with the news, potential for some snow coming up this Friday, and that, of course, could affect the
weather
school
people.
day.
The weather people are getting giddy. That's all I know.
Can you tell he's a teacher? He
Yeah,
knows that the news forecast
He's
for
been
potential
following the
snow
10-day
days.
forecast.
Spot, tell me you're a teacher without telling me you're a teacher.
My understanding is that this was joked about at my faculty meeting today. One flake. Everyone's looking for school districts
Just for
one flake.
That's right.
You catch a flake, you got a snow day this Friday. Second 8 minutes go up on the board. St. Paul with a 15-9 lead on the back of Shirley Major, or Shirley, let's try that again. Shirley Major. Kate, thank you. What did you see on the line?
She's impressive, a 10-point quarter for her. I was impressed, number one, with Leominster in transition throughout that quarter and Leominster's rebounding as well, so some high points.
Leominster tries the skip. Keenan's pass is picked. Back down the other way it goes. Check it, that was Smith. This is Ramos. Entry pass for Gentilucci, got sent right back at her. She recovers, goes inside, finds Bosnijak. Turnaround from the right block, doesn't go short, and Caldwell's got the rebound. Up floor, finds Kelly. Kelly, the push shot, side rim, won't go. Battle on the baseline. Nice play there by Ramos to bank it off of Kelly. It didn't touch out of bounds. Leominster maintains possession and has a fresh 30 to shoot. Cudahy. Low block left, turnaround from Smith, rattles, but does not go all the way down. Back up floor, you find McCollum. Gets it from Marcotte. Near side, Ramos. Little step back, long two, long of the mark, but Bosnijak from the right block put back, doesn't go. Battle on the baseline, Leominster comes out with the rebound. It's Smith who dribbles it out of trouble.
I think one of the things that we're seeing is the rust finally coming off from that only 2 days worth of practice over the last week for St. Paul. Really starting to fire on all cylinders right now.
Ball batted out of play. There was a consultation between the officials from across the court, and they decide it's Leominster basketball. 6:38 to play here in the first quarter. $18 to shoot for Leominster off the reset. Bounce inside. That was Marwa seeing some of her first action. Finds her way out to Caldwell, tees up the three, and buries it. 15-12, Leominster trails by 3. Just a couple minutes gone by here in quarter number 2. And there's a runner, goes for Marcotte. She had crossed over the arc and got it to go. Back to a 5-point lead for the Knights.
Right there. Cost herself a point.
Seen a lot of mid-range jump shots in this game going.
Indeed, nice touch. Smith throws this one back out toward the arc.
I like those kicks on Cudahy.
Indeed, the turnaround shot does not go for Smith, but she is fouled, and Smith will go to the line to shoot two.
Her shoe game has always been strong.
I would agree.
You got to love that high lob there, though, just to work the ball inside, getting some fouls, and getting to the line. Blue Devils been pretty successful from the line tonight so far, but I like the way they've been moving the ball around.
Gentilucci picks up her first team third of the first half for the Knights.
Smith short on that one. She started the year out with an injury. That long layoff through the holiday seasons helped her return to action. And Kate, if we're going to talk shoe game, we got to talk the mint green on Zaylee Ramos. I always love that off color. Might not have anything to do with the team, but it is sharp. I like that out there on the floor. Tipped out of play. It will stay with Leominster off the miss.
Billy Todd in an ostentatious color. That, I mean, come on now.
It's all about the shoes.
The white top wasn't ostentatious enough for you today, Kate?
No comment.
Inbound, it's Bello. Bello, up and down she goes with the walk, and the ball will go back to St. Paul, an unforced error.
And we've been seeing this. We've been seeing a flurry of fluidity and action from both sides, and then around midway through each quarter, we've just seen things kind of turn to sludge for both teams for a little while. So it's been keeping Leominster in the game, and it's certainly been kind of minimizing the scoring opportunities.
And there's a drag of the pivot foot for Gwen Marcotte, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
See?
And we are firmly in that quasi-quicksand.
It's like the drudgery of the mid-quarter.
Indeed. 5:27 to play here in quarter one. A 5-point St. Paul lead at 17-12. Keenan fires it for Smith. Then Pompey. Low block. It was Marwa who couldn't handle the ball. She was wide open on the baseline, and Bill Thomas just couldn't get the fork settled into it.
Couldn't dig it up. Had her hands on it, just squirted out of her hands like a slippery banana squirting out of the peel.
5:13 to play here in quarter number two. That 5-point lead, and we've kind of been stuck at 17-12. Multiple trips up and down the floor now. Koto drops it for Ramos. Jumper from Gentilucci. Long of the mark. Ping pong on the rebound. Eventually recovered by Ramos. Got the shot up and finished at the rim.
Good job with the putback right there, staying with it.
The lineup out on the floor right now, Bill Thomas, a couple of, as Keenan is out of control, coming her way to the arc. A walk and the ball will go back to St. Paul. Right now, a couple of things you notice with St. Paul. They own the size and they own the physical ability out on the floor. Their athletes just look more solid out there right now.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job anticipating, taking away the passing lanes. I think that's what's led to the last two travel calls on turnovers.
Foul line jumper won't go for Ramos. Put back, Bosnicek, count the basket and one.
Can't let those offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities, both last two times down the court. St. Paul's taking advantage of that.
7 offensive rebounds for the Knights so far in this one.
And Nevard's going to return to the action, sending Keenan back to the bench for a spell.
Keenan has picked up her first, team second for the Blue Devils. Even though second.
Bosnicek with the line drive off the free throw. And then there's a foul on the rebounding action. You can book this one against Gentilucci.
Loose ball, 14.
Under the 4.5-minute mark here in quarter number two. Bello for Marwa. Head fake, drive the lane, gets the shot on the rim. Tipped rebound. Last touch by Gentilucci. Leominster will keep.
Once again, working the ball inside, though. I like just that heads-up pass and seeing what you can get in there. Work a little inside-out game and get the defense moving.
Thing that stood out to me, Bill Thomas, as I look at both of the, of course, the scoring outputs for these two teams, but also scoring outputs across basketball right now, and this speaks to the COVID pauses that teams have been going through. Low-scoring affairs.
Well, like you say, it's not just affecting games, it's affecting practices. And, if you can't practice, you can't play. Todd, team sports, you just don't show up and play. What happens in practice usually transitions to games.
And we're certainly seeing it on the scoring side of things across central Massachusetts right now. Major launches up the deep three, got the side of the backboard, and then a foul on the rebounding action. Leominster will keep. They put that one against Marcotte, her first.
Team fifth.
Evard was open and then threw it over to Coach Chris Pompey out of play. Perhaps she thought Coach Pompey didn't have enough warm-ups?
I think that's 3 straight turnovers down the court, a couple of travels and that backcourt violation right there. Blue Devils got to pick it up here.
And you look at the quarter as being kind of the big line of demarcation. A very different first quarter versus the second quarter. Maybe the lineup changes going into the second quarter threw the chemistry off a little bit. Leominster now trying to recompose themselves as they face a little adversity. You're also seeing a little more of that scrambled basketball come back as well, as Nevard was able to make the pick on the defensive end. Got the catch back on the offensive side. Shot doesn't go. Rebound loose. and a timeout taken by Coach Finneran to preserve the possession.
Quick timeout right there, but good heads up by the coach.
3:16 before halftime, a 21-12 St. Paul lead here inside the gym at Leominster High School on a wonderful Wednesday night, and great to have you with us here on RFM. Of course, if you are enjoying the coverage tonight, one of the great parts about being able to be in the buildings, being able to cheer on your favorite player for either team, and we kind of got this going last year. If you've got a player out there you want to shout out, the great part is Kate's got the social media up here as well, so we're able to keep an eye on things, root on your favorite Blue Devil, your favorite Knight, or if you'd like to pass on a hello as well, certainly feel free to check in with us throughout this second screen experience.
Tell Todd
here
exactly
on
what you think of it.
RFM. Yeah, but we welcome all comers and all thoughts as well. 3:16 left here before halftime. Coach Frederick right now is sitting at home dialing things up.
How can I make Todd cry?
He's got some thoughts that he'd like to type along as well as he gets out the typewriter to bring them along as well. Out of timeout. Major on the baseline. The inside out, she'll get it back. Beats the full court pressure. Stops at the arc. Now drives baseline. Great job. Drove, drew the contact from Bello. Shot won't go, but Major's got two from the line.
Nice job right there. And I tell you, I was watching her warm-up. Not only she got that three-pointer and some plays tough defense, but she has some ball handling skills. I saw her working behind her back and used the baseline nicely right there to get to the basket.
And she hits the first. What most impressed me, Bill Thomas, on that drive, she got to a point over here in the left wing, stopped, waited for the defender to get drawn away by one of her teammates, opening up that lane, and took it. Nice read of the floor.
She took the opening, absolutely.
Yeah, her court awareness is impressive.
Absolutely. That one off the back rim doesn't go. Pompey got the rebound. It's Forsberg. Stops at the arc for Caldwell. Step left, shoots the three, rattles, and that one does not go. But the rebound run down by Kelly. Cudahy took a hip check, then there was a foul on the loose ball, and Cudahy's going to get billed for it.
A little frustration right there. Lost the ball and then tried to grab it back, grab some arm with it.
That'll be Leominster's fourth. Cudahy picks up her first.
A combined 9 fouls in this first half of action. Relatively clean game, wide open. Nobody's really in danger of foul trouble as we move our way along here. Loose ball, tipped, heads back up floor. Jump stop, kick, that one won't go.
Turnovers starting to pile up for both sides, but especially on the Blue Devil side of the ball, 11 turnovers.
And a body contact by Caldwell. That'll be a foul on the floor.
That'll be her first, team fifth for the Blue Devils.
Sub in on this one.
The difficulty here, gentlemen, is that Major has been limited to just one free throw, and the lead has ballooned a bit in this quarter. So Leominster doing a nice job minimizing her contributions to the scoring sheet, but her friends have started to play well too.
She accounted for half of the points and maybe all the points
in the
first quarter, and now she has actually been outscored by the rest of her teammates.
Correct.
She's accounted for 10 of the 22, and the rest of the team come up with the other 12.
Leominster picks up a quick sixth foul there.
And now they are in danger of giving up bonus shots here in this first half. 2:01 to play before halftime.
Cudahy picks up a quick second there again, team 6 for the Blue Devils.
Inbound ends up with Pompey as McCollum threw it away. Up floor, it's Cudahy on the run. Got the side of the rim, it didn't go. Battled right back for the rebound, got the tie up, and gets the possession back for Leominster.
That's the way to be aggressive, and I tell you, I think that's something the Blue Devils have been missing is that little extra spot, and maybe Cudahy can bring it to him.
Cudahy finds an open Caldwell. Head fake, drive, kick. Now Pompey through Forsberg. Kelly, the mid-range from the left side, doesn't go. Loose ball, run down on the play by Bosniak, and then gets bumped by Cudahy, her third. And she's frustrated.
Yeah.
A little first game exuberance, I think. Trying to do a little too much, but you can never ask her to do too much. You don't want to slow her down for sure.
That's 7.
And that's going to bring Keenan back into the basketball game and send Cudahy out, who was playing in that 6th, 7th man role, which means Coach Pompey is going to go a little further down the depth chart.
Yeah, she'll be playing second half with 3 fouls. Deficit's going to be tough to control with her energy.
Coach Megan McNiff over on the bench gets together with Cudahy as the first one goes to the 1+ for Bosnijak.
So where you take advantage of that 1-in-1, you got to make that first one. See if you can't double up here.
Bosnijak can't get that one to go, and Pompey's got the rebound. Final 99 seconds before halftime. This is Keenan. Throws up a shot that misses everything. A loose ball is run down and dribbled away by McCollum.
Layups have been difficult for the Blue Devil offense tonight.
You're seeing that scramble again on the floor. The 3 away does not go. Tipped on the inside. Marcotte's got it, and she walked with it in the triple team.
Nice job by the Blue Devils there trying to grab it. Marcotte trying to yank away, but taking those baby steps at the same time.
St. Paul giving the Blue Devils plenty of opportunities here to strike, but not taking advantage of it is certainly when they're proximal to the basket.
Forsberg inside for Pompey.
That's
Great
better.
lead
That's
and
better.
gets
Nice
it to go.
look right there on the baseline. Draw the defense. Need
That's
to
what
see
you
some
wanna
more
see.
of that.
Under a minute to play here in the second quarter.
Baseline's where to make it happen.
Well, when you watch some of Leominster's players looking a little maybe disconcerted at points, especially those that have a little more high school experience, it just helps you to appreciate the play of Ava McCollum thus far, an 8th grader on this St. Paul team. If you're asking yourself, how is that possible? It is a school that includes, of course, middle school grades. Therefore, those middle school players can qualify to play for their varsity program.
And boy, is she going to be good when she gets
Indeed
older.
she is, as Bosnijak gets the turnaround in the lane to go. And St. Paul has more than doubled up Leominster, 25-14.
Can you imagine her as a senior?
Yeah, no doubt. When you get 5 years of development at the varsity level, scoop shot, Pompey absorbs the contact that she's sent down to one knee. Shot doesn't go, but Pompey's got 2 free throws.
That'll be team 6th.
You know, and she plays a lot like Major, and I'm sure Major's working with her a lot as the senior mentor. And a lot of what she does is going to rub off on her.
The scoreboard put that foul against Leominster, inadvertently. Leominster should still be at 7, and we should have a 6th against St. Paul. So that 32 on the foul, I'm assuming,
There
is
we go.
Dakota.
I would say
Oh,
that
there we
is
go.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right,
they
there
have
we go.
corrected that now.
Mike must have heard you. He's listening.
I don't think so. I think he's busy.
No, he's looking over at us.
Pompey can't get either to go. And a loose ball to
Ooh.
Major, and then she gets bodied off the ball, drawing a whistle. And that'll be Smith that gets billed for the foul. It will be a couple of shots coming up here in transition, as that is foul number 8, billed against Leominster. And it's Major once again at the line, who, Kate, you pointed out, her scoring production has come down a little bit in the second quarter.
Just 1 point in the second quarter.
And stuck at 1 still. Marwa the rebound on the miss of the 1+. Up floor, they find Caldwell. Final 20 seconds here of the first. And Keenan fires up a shot from the left wing, and it will go.
Blue Devils needed that one.
And Coach Pompey says full court pressure. Kelly might have tipped that one loose from Major. Final 8 seconds. Bosnijak throws one up. It doesn't go. Tie up for the rebound, loose. Keenan with it. Now 2 seconds. Go 1. It's Marwa. Good if it goes. Front rim, top of the backboard, and it still doesn't go for Leominster.
She's so much fun to watch.
Indeed. Halftime here inside the gym at Leominster High School. St. Paul out to a commanding 25-16 lead at the half on a back of a great team-wide scoring effort in the second quarter.
Yeah, nice job there. Blue Devils had their opportunities, but I think 3, 4, maybe in 5 consecutive times down the court, a turnover of one fashion or another. And I think it's allowed St. Paul to open it up even without Major finding her way to the basket in that second quarter.
Indeed, indeed. Kate's got your first half stats coming up in a moment, but first we step aside. 25-16 St. Paul on top of Leominster at the half. Halftime show coming your way next. Stay with us. This is RFM. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, halftime here. St. Paul with a 25-16 lead over Leominster here on RFM. Great to have you with us as we get set for halftime here. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins will slide in as well as she joins us with those first half stats. There you go. You got your Chris Collinsworth slide in as well. Nicely done.
You're right.
Indeed, very, very nicely
It's
done.
like my new thing. Sliding in from the left now, though.
25-16 St. Paul at Leominster. Actually, it's a little weird. We've flipped sides of the floor. We're now on the left side of midcourt instead of the right side, so everything now is in reverse for us. But I haven't turned to the wrong camera yet, so that was a good start.
Well, the
as
best part, I mean, if our our diehard fans know that I have a big personal space bubble, so we're trying to keep me away from anybody and everybody. So we switched it up.
The MIA did you a favor by limiting fan participation.
They
I'm in my
memo.
glory right now.
They got the memo, Kate.
Oh, man. All right. I'll take care of it.
25-16 St. Paul on top of Leominster at the half. Kate, what stands out?
Other than the fact that my personal space bubble's happy, here we go.
Indeed.
All right, let's take a look first at team totals. First for the Blue Devils right now, they find themselves in a 25-16 deficit at the half. 17 rebounds, 11 turnovers for the Lady Blue Devils. However, they do have scoring contributions from 6 different players. Let's take a look at what they've done. Caldwell right now with 3 points, Nevard with 2. Once again, both of Nevard's points, however, only coming via the free throw. Hasn't made anything from the field, which has been kind of atypical of what we've known of her abilities in the last few years. Kelly also with 2 points, both from the free throw line. Forsberg with a team-high 5 points for the Blue Devils in the first half. Keenan with 2, and Pompey with 2 as well. So right now the Blue Devils are 4 of 8 from the line. They're shooting 50%. Now on the opposite side of the ball, team totals first for the Knights, 16 rebounds, 1 steal, 12 turnovers for the Knights on the evening. If we take a look at individual notable statistics, they too have scoring contributions from 6 different players. Right now, McCollum with 2 points, Ramos with 2 points, Major a team-high 11 points. Interestingly, though, 10 of her 11 points came in the first quarter alone. So Leominster doing a nice job minimizing her contributions in the second quarter. The problem is, as we said, her friends, especially Bosnijak had a team-high 5 points in the second quarter. Right now she has 7 points. She was able to pick up some of the slack that was caused by Major getting a lot of the attention from Leominster's defense in that second quarter. So a nice job by the other Knights to kind of pick up the scoring contributions. Gentilucci with 1 point on the night and Marcotte with 2 points. Right now, the Knights are 3 of 7 from the line, and they find themselves once again 25-16 advantage for St. Paul. Some bright spots for Leominster. Their rebounding action was good. I was impressed with them in transition, and as you said, they had moments where you could see systematic basketball being played. It wasn't until we got to around midpoint of that second quarter where things got really sloppy again, and we saw things go off the rail. So nice systematic basketball by the Blue Devils, and did a nice job in that second quarter minimizing Major's contributions on the scoring sheet.
And Major was well on her way to exceeding her 12.3 points per game average. Still has 11 in the first half. Bill Thomas, good chance she exceeds that as she moves her way, obviously, into this second half of action. But Leominster was able to maybe, deter her a little bit, but it created opportunities for the people around her.
And especially when it comes from the bench, and you're looking up, just getting a name here. Looks like it's a Laura. Is that her first name?
Laura Bosnijak.
Yep. You got such small writing over there, Todd. But when you get 7 points off from a bench player in a half, I mean, you can't ask for anything more. Yeah, Major's still out there handling the ball, doing the yeoman's of the work, touching the ball every time up. She might have only scored 1. She's still the general out there, and she knows who to get the ball to, and her friends were helping her out just as they should. When she slows down, they picked up the pace, and when you get 7 off the bench, you can't ask for anything more.
Got a great message out there from assistant coach Nick D'Andrea, of course, who is one of the 3 coaches on the St. Paul bench typically. He said via Twitter, he said, at Media Rivalry, STP Girls, Coach Nick is watching in his COVID cave. Keep up the pressure and see you guys at practice on Monday. See how easy it is? You can be part of this second screen experience here on RFM as the second half begins with a turnover from the Knights.
Yeah, good job by Nevard stepping in the lane there, caused a foot to drag, hesitation on the pass.
I feel like this first half of this third quarter is a very important time for Leominster.
Leominster,
Can
yeah.
they recapture what they had in the first quarter?
I would agree. You're talking make or break at this point.
This is Nevard. Bounces on the entry for Pompey. Draws the contact on Horton. Horton is frustrated, but she's not been able to set her feet, Kate. Her feet are moving underneath her, and body bumps up against her. You're going to get called as the defender every single time if your feet aren't set.
Agreed.
And that's her third. She picked up those 2 quick ones there in the
First
first half. Sat out a lot of the second quarter.
Pompey tried to body English that one in, and it didn't go.
Pompey 0 for 3 now from the line thus far in this game. Leominster needs to hit those freebies.
And with the senior Horton out of the lineup, it certainly makes St. Paul's lineup a little bit smaller, as she is what you would call your prototypical center.
Nice save right there.
Indeed, Leominster gets another opportunity on the possession. Forsberg pulls the trigger, can't get it to go, and there's Major for the rebound. Major down floor, dribble entry, Horton into a double team, hands it off for Gentilucci, shot doesn't go, deflection, Leominster gets the ball on the turnover.
Good job. Lady Blue Devils swarming to that rebound there.
Conversation
Talking
between
it
the
over,
officials,
changing
and
the
there is an
call.
overrule. The ball will go back to St. Paul.
I think when you look at the numbers, it was kind of hard to justify 1 St. Paul girl and 3 Blue Devils there, but and I think they just kind of did the math and said that had to have been
Coach,
off a
you got
Blue
the
Devil.
call. Let it go.
Yeah, I know it.
Know when to hold them.
And no one to fold them.
Nice hands right there.
Leominster with the steal there. It's Nevard, and of course, Coach
Here's
Chris.
the part. Know when to walk away.
That's right, and Coach Chris Pompey knew that was the
That's
time to do it.
right.
Meanwhile, maybe Coach Finneran hung in there in the conversation a little longer.
I swear you do that sometimes.
Oh, I do indeed. It's part of the job here.
Billy, I tell him all the time, Todd, you won. Walk away. You've won.
Three
But he
wide
wants
of the
to-
mark for
He doesn't just want
Pompey.
to win big. He wants to leave a mark.
My
Oh, just
word.
that's a note that at least I've won one in my conversations at home. Go figure,
Mark
right?
that down.
Forsberg
Don't worry, she's
with
keeping
the
a list,
rebound.
Todd.
And she knows it was just one. Down floor. Here's the drive. Nevard drops it to the baseline. This is Bello. Bello back for Nevard. Nevard the drive. Kick into the corner. Head fake for Caldwell. Back for Nevard. Now Nevard the drive. That was an attempt at a shot that never really got off the ground, but there was a deflection, and the ball will go back to Leominster with a little backcourt transitional issue there for the Knights.
A little tough defense there, a little bump. Looking for a foul, didn't get it, lost control.
Nearly 2 minutes gone in this quarter. No score for either side yet.
Yeah, we're still stuck in our halftime score of 25-16.
That bodes well for Leominster, though.
Indeed it does, and Major comes across the arm of Pompey. She'll get called for the slash. 6:02 left here in the third quarter.
51. Who's that on?
They reported a foul that did not exist.
Art row.
On a player who's not on the court.
Now the officials will converse. It's either 51 or 25. Take your pick, as they said there was
They
a
want-
5.
Oh,
If
51
it's St.
is on the
Paul's, you
court.
want it to be 25.
And
Yep.
25 is Major.
If I'm Major, I'll say I'll take that.
I was
Major.
going to say,
Yeah.
if they correctly report that one as opposed to a 4th on Horton, the center.
That's when you go up. I'll take that. Thank you.
Forsberg, around the world, takes it back to the top of the key. She'll drop it off for Caldwell. Tipped inside, and Horton's got the pick. We mentioned, of course, Chris Pompey on the bench with Leominster, part of the coaching committee that's over there. Varsity assistant Megan McNiff, along with Kelly Marciano. On the bench tonight is Coach Rusty Frederick. If you were not with us off the top of the broadcast, he's under COVID protocol, and he's watching for the comfort of his own home, which, of course, my favorite part was when Coach Frederick and I talked prior to the game tonight. He wanted to know if the stream was simultaneous to the action going on the floor, and I said, Coach, maybe about a minute off. He said he'd be calculating from home.
Oh, well, then we'll get a report.
That one was tipped back on the inside. This is Horton. Horton in transition, feeds the middle of the floor, but she walked with it. Skidded that pivot foot. Ball back to Leominster.
Bill Thomas, with 5:21 remaining in the quarter. Neither team has scored a point.
I had a feeling that's where you were headed.
Lids are on here in the third quarter.
Oh, now I'm telegraphing my
Turnovers,
analysis.
They're adding up. As just as I say that, there's another one by
Another
the Blue
one
Devils.
through the hands of Caldwell and out of play.
4 per side in the turnover game right now.
Basically, the only stat we've had this quarter is the turnovers and missed free throws.
Pretty much.
Just about 3 minutes gone by, 5:10 left here in quarter three. 25-16, our halftime score is where we still are. Ramos fires up a three, back rim no. Horton the tap on the rebound. Bello ran it down on the baseline and tiptoed to keep it in play. Pompey up floor, finds a strike for Caldwell. It opened Forsberg in the corner. Didn't take the shot, it was tipped and finds its way to Ramos. Ramos goes long distance, tried to connect with Gentilucci, and it's out of play.
Good idea, but another turnover.
Down to 4:45. No score in the third quarter.
Potential for a scoreless third quarter as we work our way to the halfway points of this third quarter.
I wouldn't be that dramatic.
Well, I mean, we're halfway there.
Build the drama, Todd. Build that drama.
It's like calling a no-hitter in the 5th inning.
It's like watching a soap opera in the afternoon.
Caldwell drops it inside. Soap operas are in the afternoon. That shot is wide left. Coach Pompey wanted a foul call he didn't get, and as the world turns, the ball goes back the other way in the hands of the Knights.
Like sand through the hourglass.
You better believe it, and the sand keeps draining out of this third quarter. Major launches one from Worcester. That one doesn't go, and the rebound down in the hands of Caldwell. Up floor for Forsberg. Back rim, side rim doesn't go. Rebound for Nevard, and then she takes a shoulder chuck.
I can report less than a 10-second differential from
as you sit there and
live
calculate
to Facebook, by the way. FYI, I'll do the math for you.
For those of you wondering just how quickly things happen here on the floor versus when you see them at home. Three is away in the corner for Nevard, doesn't go. Caldwell the rebound, high off glass. That one won't go. Loose ball is run down by Major as Gentilucci is down behind the play. She's able to get back up, trying to clear her eye, Bill Thomas.
Yeah. I don't know if she had a misplaced contact or something. But
or I think, you know, when you
go
go up for those rebounds, hands move around. Pompey found a lane to the basket and missed everything. Now it's Major, down floor. Caldwell racing back in, draws the foul. Major missed the shot after taking the contact. Caldwell checks on Major on the baseline as she is slow to get up. And we've got a stoppage of play at 3:34 left here in the third quarter. And a 25-16 score. We are still where we were at halftime.
That last foul against St. Paul was the second against Major. So it had been 3-0 fouls, the foul differential. Now Leominster picking up their first foul here of the second half, and that is going to be Caldwell's second, team first of the half. Major is laboring over there.
Yeah, meets with the trainer, assistant coach Ron Scarborough over there with her as well.
Got her hands on her back. I don't know if she wrenched her back and she's just slow to get up. We'll just
anytime you see a student athlete, I was going to say that that checks their head, that's always concerning.
Give her a minute, yeah.
I can see a smile on the trainer's face, though. That's always a good sign. 3:34 left here in this third quarter. 25-16 is where we are. It's where we were at halftime. Bill Thomas, where did the offense go?
I got a stat for you. You know, occasionally turnovers kind of get in the way of other things. We might have a quarter where both teams are going to have more turnovers than points. You know, it might be, you know, I can see one team, that team
we might have a half.
had a 0 in a quarter. You know, you got turnovers, you get a 0. But for both teams to be up and down the court, you know, to end up having less points than turnovers, that's quite the statistical anomaly, if you ask me.
Both teams have 5 turnovers in the second half and no points in the third quarter. We could conceivably have an entire half where that happens.
Major gets a nice round of applause as she is up and able to return to her huddle.
She's going to have a seat for a while.
Yeah, she would have to, at least for the return to action.
Whistle.
Gentilucci still nursing that eye as well, by the way.
I was going to say, if you get poked in the eye, it's always a concern. You're always trying to clear it.
Interesting to send in the 8th grader to the line here in her place. Is this a defensive team's call of who they want to shoot the foul shots here, or is it?
That's a good question there, Bill Thomas. I believe it does.
Somebody else on the court has to
take the shots.
And I believe the other coach gets to pick. I mean, I'm not sure about that. Somebody's got the answer to that.
It is. There are circumstances where that is the case. It's not totally off the mark. As McCollum missed the first but got the second.
Hey,
we got a point.
And we have a second half score.
So there's a rule we're not aware of. We're going to have to ask Bill.
From the 8th grader.
10 points
We
the
should
differential.
just ask Dr. Dubzinski. He's 10 feet away.
Indeed we could, as the ball gets bounced inside for Kelly.
I mean, he is a doctor.
Back to Caldwell, a doctor of basketball as well as a doctor of education.
Like
I think
Dr. J.
one of those is in there. The jumper from Cudahy from the left elbow doesn't go, and the rebound down for Ramos. Up floor, finds its way to McCollum. She missed the shot. The rebound for Caldwell. 3 minutes left here in the second quarter. The long distance find, it's Kelly ahead of the break, and the lay-in is good, and Leominster's on the board. They lead in the second half by a 2-1 margin. They still trail by 18.
And I didn't start the
8,
clock.
excuse me.
They have 18.
Thank you, yes.
Fixing the clock. Sorry about that.
Nice pass inside.
And that shot just shy of the mark. Inside, it's Kelly. Dribbles it out of trouble. Up floor, bounce pass on the interior. Caldwell steps through, finds Forsberg. Missed everything. Cudahy the rebound. Kelly gets a long look at it and drills the three. Leominster back into the basketball game.
Kelly with a 5-point quarter now for the Lady Blue Devils.
And the lead is just 5. Final 2 minutes here of the third. Contact on the inside, the take to the lane by Ramos, and Kelly's going to be billed for the foul.
That'll be team's second. It'll be Kelly's first.
Foul was ruled on the floor, so it'll be an inbound for the Knights from their own baseline left. It's a straight stack along the foul line. McCollum looks for an inbound, finds Horton, had body position, decided better of it, went to Marcotte at the top of the key. Now drives the lane against the double team, and Marcotte's able to finish. Push that lead back up to 7, under 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Cudahy gets bodied off the ball, but got it over to Kelly. Now for Keenan. Keenan, shot was deflected out of her hands, and the ball will stay with Leominster, and a nice ruling there. Bill Goslin was right there at the 90 he needed and saw the deflection. Forsberg for Kelly, 3 from the left wing. Doesn't go. Forsberg, the rebound. Put back will go from the right block.
Nice job. Found the right spot after that inbounds play on that weak side. Nobody blocked her out.
5-point game once again. 90 seconds left here in the third. McCollum, the right-hand drive. Scoop shot doesn't go. Rebound out for Kelly. Kelly steps on the gas. It's 2-on-1 if they hurry. Bounce to Forsberg. Trailing, it's Cudahy. Bank shot doesn't go. Rebound up from Bello doesn't go either. Leominster a third opportunity on the possession. It's Keenan, it won't go. And now a fourth opportunity with Leominster with 4 offensive rebounds on the possession. Forsberg missed everything. There's a rebound for Cudahy, the 5th. And a timeout taken by Coach Pompey, a 5th opportunity on this trip up the floor.
Girls are getting tired shooting there. Coach wanted to talk about it. Settle them down, I think. Just kind of became a series of one-on-ones right there on rebounds.
We talked about rebounds in the first half for the Blue Devils. Fairly impressive effort by them, much improved than what we saw in the early season. And right there, 5 opportunities. You need to have those multiple opportunities because you're not going to hit the first shot every time. And if you're able to out-rebound on the offensive end and able to reload like that, obviously that's going to only help your team.
Talk a lot about second chance points. Not very often you calculate 5th chance points as the circumstances may
The offensive
go.
rebounds add up real quick when you get a series like that.
And the other interesting thing right now, only a 5-point deficit because Leominster has not only able to completely neutralize Major in this quarter, because over half of the third quarter was completely scoreless. This keeps Leominster in the game. They've gone on a little bit of a scoring run here because of the 5 points from Kelly here in this quarter. Only a 5-point deficit in this one. This one is tightening up quickly, especially if Major stays on the bench, which she's back on the court right now. But if they're able to continue to minimize her scoring opportunities, Leominster's going to stay in this one.
And all of a sudden, that long drought that you pointed to, Kate, a long while ago, favoring Leominster, certainly has come to pass. Nevart out of the timeout, wasn't able to finish at the rim, was bothered from behind. Horton's got the ball, up floor for Bosniak, who lays it in and good.
Nice heads-up play with the ball right there. Found the cutter on the weak side.
Bosniak now with 9 points on the night, her first points of the third quarter.
35.5 seconds left here in the second quarter, a 5-second differential. between the shot clock and game clock here in the third. It was deflected out of play. Leominster will keep the basketball. 20 to shoot. 3 from the corner for Cudahy. Doesn't go, but the rebound. Major had body position with Forsberg. And Forsberg kind of got,
A little too aggressive?
well, came over the top, and Major kind of let her know it and kind of said, yeah, here, let's just discard you
Shake
off
her
of my back.
Yep. Shed her, I guess you could say.
That's one way of looking at it, for sure.
Forsberg picks up her first, team third.
Shot clock is off rest of the way here in the third. Leominster with the full court pressure. Horton found Marcotte. Up floor from McCollum. Long 2, doesn't rattle in. Horton crashes for the rebound. Put back over the top. Leominster will get one more opportunity here. Final 10 seconds here in the third.
Those were Horton's first points of the game, and she needs to do more of that below that basket.
Final 3 seconds. Stepping in to break that ball up. It may have been, and it was Marcotte. Tied things up. Leominster not able to get a shot in that last possession here in the third quarter. It was a quiet third quarter for the first 3.5+ minutes, but all of a sudden a flurry of offense, and we've got ourselves a basketball game going into the fourth.
They certainly picked up there. Blue Devils had a chance to get back in it, but St. Paul found a way to add some points there at the end of that quarter and expand that lead back up to 9. That's exactly what it was at the half.
32-23, St. Paul on top of Leominster. Of course, we mentioned boys basketball action coming your way Friday night here on RFM, weather and other factors permitting. Next time we're with girls basketball next Tuesday night here inside the gym at Leominster High School. It's Leominster and Algonquin. That game right here for you on RFM beginning at 6:45. Also at 6:45 on our radio home, the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM. And WPKZstream.com for the streaming audio for that action coming your way on Tuesday night.
Billy needed an answer. Billy's off to get answers for us.
Bill Thomas, ever the intrepid reporter, Kate.
He's got to have the answers.
Through 3 quarters, what stood out to you on your score sheet?
Let's see. Hold on. 4. Right now as a team, Leominster shooting 4 of 10 from the line. Scoring contributions still from the same 6 players. Kelly, though, with a quick 5 points in that quarter, brings her up to a team high 7 points. She's tied with Forsberg with that team high 7 points. Right now, Major still a team high 11 points for St. Paul, but no points in the third quarter for her. Bosnijak is quickly on her heels with 9 points.
Final 8 minutes of regulation on the board. Leominster starts with the basketball going right to left in this fourth quarter. Bill Thomas rejoins us. Shot is away. That one won't go. Wide. Major the rebound. Up floor. Throws it out in front of McCollum. Runs it down. Bounce back to Horton, who finishes at the rim. Tic-tac-toe. Nice finish.
Got a little deep. Found a trailer. Nice job.
What court awareness by the 8th grader to be able to dish that back.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about her when we get a little chance, because I'm telling you, I'm pretty impressed by her showing tonight.
I can't wait to follow her.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, hello.
Coach Scarborough said in our pregame conversation of the 8th grader Ava McCollum, an excellent young ball handler. We've certainly seen that tonight, who digs in on the defensive end of the floor. We've seen that as well.
One thing I've noticed in at least 2 out-of-bounds plays, they put the ball in her hands, maybe even 3, and she's made good in-bounds decisions.
Turnaround shot for Nivard, missed everything, but drew the contact, and she will go to the line to shoot 2. Marcotte got billed for the foul.
Marcotte picks up her second, team 4th of the half for St. Paul. Once again, Nivard, her only points on the night so far coming from the free throw line. And she's adding to that total.
Head coach Rusty Frederick in the comfort of his own living room, shouting at the screen to see if he can coach from long distance.
I don't think that's how that works.
Not in the slightest, but I do feel like I could hear the ever faint of him as he is in his own COVID cage or cave. Either way.
Nivard, 1 of 2 in her trip to the line.
10-point game. Major tried to add 3 more, not able to go. Loose balls run down by Pompey. Pompey up floor finds Nivard, who draws the foul. 2 shots coming up here.
That'll be team 5th. Actually, it says team 6th.
Coach Finneran not happy there. Felt like Nivard got away with a little bit of a run without a dribble. But Nevar drew the foul nonetheless on the shot, 2 shots here.
And Marcotte picks up her 3rd, team 6th.
First one was short, 6:54 to play here in the 3rd.
Almost took off Mr. Goslin's beautiful mane.
Flowing locks you're looking for,
That's
yes. Second one will go, 9-point basketball game. Leominster will go with the full court pressure, and Billy, you got to assume at this point where we are in the game, and Pompey draws the offensive foul.
And that's what you got to do. You got to take one for the team sometimes.
And Coach Finneran letting referee Bill Goslin know he doesn't agree with it.
Didn't have her feet set, I'm sure is what he's saying.
But Pompey was right there, setting up the mark, and Major ran her right over. Point I was going to make, Bill Thomas, it doesn't feel like Leominster at this point in time can really absorb another run from St. Peter. I almost did it. St. Paul at this point in a 9-point basketball game.
We shouldn't call him holy name.
Which was either way would have been correct, sort of.
But, nice job right there, not dragging that foot. Yeah, they definitely got to make a couple of baskets on their own and put up a couple of defensive stands here.
Nevar's turnaround didn't go, and Horton's got the rebound. Kate, there she is with body position.
Doing a good job playing with those 5 fouls, 3 fouls. Too.
I hope she's not playing with 5 fouls.
No, not 5, with 3, but staying out of trouble.
That could be trouble.
Loose ball back to straight away. That one won't go for Major, hard in and out, but the long rebound got tipped back inside. It found its way to Boston Jack on her favorite spot, turns around and gets it to go.
And puts one dribble down and gets great position underneath the basket after that rebound. Nice job on the putback.
And picks up her now team tying high of 11 points.
Off the bench, we might add.
That's right.
Leominster with the catch and replace.
Interestingly, on that last foul, they had it at 7 fouls and then 6 fouls.
Caldwell fires up the long 2, and it will go.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that 7th foul came from.
Me neither, but
materialized.
A steal for Kelly. She'll turn it around down floor to the basket. Lay-in is good.
Nice job right there.
Quick flurry of points for Leominster. And perhaps not a moment too soon to keep this a potential basketball game.
Need a couple more stops right here. Take care of those rebounds.
And Kelly stepped in for a steal again, and the whistle goes off for a foul. Interesting is she seemed like she had made the steal, or at least separated the basketball before the whistle went off.
She had ball and then contact afterwards, I think, when she went for the loose ball. Kind of threw a shoulder in there to gain some headway.
Kelly picks up her 2nd, team 4th for the Blue Devils.
Good energy, though, while she's out there.
Coming up post-game here on RFM. Stay with us at the conclusion of this one. We will have the coaching committee joining us. Bill Thomas went over and sought a representative. Coach Chris Pompey has volunteered for the opportunity. He'll join us here courtside as he fills in tonight for Coach Rusty Frederick from home.
He commented he's never been a loss for words, so he'd be more than happy to shy about talking. He's never shy about talking about his team.
And so an opportunity coming up to talk to them post-game. Foul was on a shot, and so Horton's got 2 coming from the line.
On Marwa.
First, team 5th, and Horton's first will go. And here we go down the stretch, Bill Thomas, the importance of finishing at the free throw line. That one won't go off the side rim. Pompey the rebound. Pompey fell down, out of bounds, and the ball goes back to the Knights.
Tough break right there, just kind of tripped up. Lost the ball in the process. Looking around for a foul, but no Knight near her.
I was going to say, one wasn't coming. Shirley Major finds the inbound, and then the reach over for Pompey.
A little frustration foul right there, I think.
And that'll be the 6th called against Leominster, so everyone's shooting free throws the rest of the way.
And these really added up in this quarter. We saw almost the whole first half with just one bonus opportunity. They'll be playing the entire 4th quarter, both teams in the bonus.
The bounce to the corner. This is Major on the drive and finish at the rim.
Finding her way to the hoop. You know you wouldn't keep her quiet the rest of the game, that's for sure. She's showing it.
The clock inside of the gym is stuck at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. An offensive foul is called against Leominster away from the ball, and that clock has been stuck at 5:15 for the better part of 30 seconds.
I've got it for 19 seconds.
And the clock has now resumed functioning.
We'll keep the 19. Little bonus play.
So I was going to say a little extra 30-ish seconds in action as we get down to the 5-minute mark. And
nice
there's a
block.
steal for Pompey. Pompey down the floor to the rim and gets it to go. Major was in position and got run over, but perhaps too deep on the floor is going to be the call. You don't have the restricted area in high school basketball, but certainly if you're up under the rim, it's hard to call you to be in good legal guarding position. Drive right back down the floor. Ramos finishes at the rim. We got a 10-point basketball game once again.
Pace picking up here.
Leominster's been able to close it to as tight as 8, but really hasn't overcome much more than that.
Knights always seem to have an answer.
Pompey, 3 from straight away, and it goes!
Now we need to stop right here. Can't trade baskets.
And immediately it's full court pressure from the Blue Devils.
Play with that 10-second.
Yeah, there is now a 10-second
No
backcourt,
foul.
and
Oh.
Cuddy reaches across the body.
Can't
She's
foul, yeah.
frustrated, but her body contact came, and she missed the basketball.
They had her deep in the backcourt there too. I don't know if they would have made the timeline.
4th foul on Cudahy and her return to action tonight. 4:12 to play here in this final frame of regulation. And Bill Thomas, you alluded to that 10-second backcourt. That used to be one of the key differences between men's and women's basketball, or boys and girls basketball, however you like to look at it, is that the offensive backcourt clock did not exist prior to this season. That is a federation rule
on the
change.
girls' side.
On the girls' side,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly right. Boys,
Boys, it has always been a 10-second
girls they've
backcourt.
done away with, and it's back in now.
Correct.
And
So-
they had one there, I think, if they just had corralled her and tried to get her to throw an errant pass.
And of course, in Massachusetts, both genders play a 30-second shot clock, and of course, the 4 8-minute quarters. Free throw goes, and Coach Finneran asks for the timeout. 4:12 to play here in the 4th and final quarter. 43-34, St. Paul's lead.
Third quarter? Oh no, I do have fourth quarter.
Yes.
It says I thought it was the
The
fourth.
board has been 1 quarter off
Third
the
quarter.
entire night.
Well, it couldn't have been the first quarter. Off.
It was the first quarter played twice,
Okay.
if you follow along.
We've had it right.
We've had it right the whole
Oddly,
night.
because
Are you sure this is the 4th quarter?
It
I have
is,
it
in
written
fact,
down.
the fourth
And yes,
Should we
I
go
have
tell
it on
Mike?
Stat sheet.
You could signal it, send out the smoke
Smoke
signals if you
signals.
like. But as we get set here across the floor, Kate, of course, we saw the scoring average come down quite a bit for Major. She's still ahead of that 12.5 points per game that she's averaged throughout the year.
And she's woken back up here in this fourth quarter, but her second and her third quarters were quite minimized. 10 opening quarter points for Major. She's picked up a quick 4 points in this quarter, so things are starting to get back on track for her. Right now, she's got 13, 14. She's got a team high 15 points.
Indeed, 4:12 to play here in this final frame of regulation. 43-34, St. Paul with the lead. Out of the timeout, Leominster with the basketball.
Tried to get Mike's attention. He didn't get my smoke signal.
The ball tipped away. Major collides with Ava McDonald, who is still out. She felt bad, checked on McDonald, who, of course, has that knee injury, and she is sitting front row on the Leominster bench, which is back to that checkerboard pattern. There was a foul whistled on that play, and it was charged to, I believe, they didn't put Major on the board. They charged it to
No, nobody.
12?
It was just out of bounds.
There was a number reported to the table. Ball on the inside doesn't go on the Kelly shot. Tipped on the rebounding action, and the ball will go to St. Paul.
The Blue Devils have plenty of looks under the basket tonight. They just cannot convert. A lot of ball movement. I like what I see. Just unable to score those points at the basket.
Leominster will go with full court pressure here. Inside bounce. This is Major. Major finds Horton through the middle of the floor. Horton out of control. They say it was of her own volition, and the loose basketball will find its way into the hands of Kelly. Kelly gets held up, and it's a tie-up. Alternate possession, St. Paul basketball. Shirley Major does a great job to get a hand on the basketball and tie things up. It looked ugly from our position right here in front of us, but a totally legal maneuver. She had all ball for the tie-up.
Awkward and ugly, but
Effective.
ends up with a turnover.
And an arrow that faces in your direction. 3.5 to play here in the third.
Good job breaking that press, finding the wing.
Found that outlet. It's Marcotte. Now Ramos, the bounce pass inside. Keenan steps inside. Up floor finds Kelly. Kelly to the basket. Tough angle, but banks it home.
That's the way to take it to her.
Kelly is up to 11 points for the Blue Devils.
And then a foul in the backcourt once again, and that's going to be the tough part. Leominster's defense doing a good job with the full court pressure, keeping St. Paul off balance in the backcourt, but then giving away fouls in that backcourt, and it leads to, of course, possession change, or in this case, it's going to lead to a 1+1 opportunity.
And it's going to lead to a double bonus next time they do that.
Caldwell picks up her third, team 9th, as Bill Thomas alluded to in the half.
That one will not go. Collision on the rebounding action. Nevard landed hard.
After a push.
With a big come on when she got up too, but didn't get the call.
Didn't get the call on the rebounding action at all, Bill Thomas. You are correct. 3:07 showing on the board here inside the gym at Leominster High School. 43-36, St. Paul with the lead with their own full court pressure now.
This game does not lack physicality.
That's right, Nevard through the lane, threw up the shot, got it on the rim, tried to get her own rebound. Good body position there for Dakota. It got tipped out of bounds, last touch by Leominster, and it's St. Paul basketball.
Blue Devils are not lacking aggressiveness, that's for sure. They're playing really hard, just can't find a way to score at the rim.
Full court pressure again, back down floor. Ramos, nice dribble behind the back, but right into the hands of Nevard, who makes the pick. Nevard finds Major, stripped of the basketball, battle to the floor. There is a foul call and whistles. The alternate
Thought we might add a travel there, but
call is 4. Nevard gets billed for it.
the VAR official saw something he didn't like.
Things getting a little chippy out on the floor. Appreciate the enthusiasm for sure, but
That's team limit.
want to avoid things boiling over.
A little two foul shot break here. When Major was injured, she had to come out of the game.
That's correct.
Somebody else shot foul shots for her. She was fouled.
And you went down there at the end of the
there was a
third.
timeout called in the course of that, which then allowed the coach to put his own shooter in on the replacement.
Interesting.
He replaced at will, and he was able to pick who he wanted to replace her and shoot.
Major goes 2 of 2. So by the explanation you got from Bill Goslin, if you spend the timeout, you get a chance to make that decision.
I guess that's the way it reads now. He said they've changed the rules over the years, but at one time they could have had us shoot the foul shots.
Shot wide of the mark for Caldwell. My lifetime average, I would have not been the guy you would have chosen.
No, I wouldn't have helped out the score, that's for sure.
I've never picked up a basketball.
Gentilucci with the foul. Well, we've already talked about your propensity for enjoying personal space. This is not the sport for that.
No.
2:27 to play here in the third, a 45-36 lead for St. Paul, and at the line, Caldwell got the second to go.
It seems like this 8-9 point lead just won't go away. 7, 6, and all of a sudden the balloon's back up, 8, 9.
Up floor, it's Dakota. Look for Major, loose basketball.
Oh boy.
Kelly came out with it, drew the contact for Gentilucci. Foul shots coming up for Leominster. If they're gonna turn the result right now, the line is gonna have a lot to do with it.
You know whose blood pressure I'm worried about right now?
Who's that?
Coach Rusty Frederick.
Because he can't do
I would say
anything
both
about it.
coaches who are currently in their COVID
Yeah, Coach
caves
Nick.
have got to certainly
Both
be
sides.
concerned with
Gentilucci picks up her 4th. It's going to be team 9th.
in search of an outlet at this point. Right now, the family dog is getting a lot of coaching from home, that's for sure. A pick for Kelly. Shot will go. 45-39, 2:15 left here in the third quarter.
Don't want to foul here. Trap, but don't foul.
Horton lost the basketball, and it's Kelly who dribbles it out of trouble. Turns it around for Leominster.
She has been huge. in
Indeed
this
she
quarter.
has.
Been all over the court in the second half.
Forsberg sees a wide open lane to the basket. The float missed the mark, and she had taken her eye off the play for just a moment as she saw Major in front of her. Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. Knew that board was going to catch me one of these times. It's right on our board. Loose ball. Dribbled away, it's Pompey. Pompey for
Nice
Caldwell.
bounce pass.
Lay-in will go.
That's the way he's that bounce pass in
And
traffic.
Coach Pompey will spend the timeout. 94 seconds left in regulation. We've got a 4-point basketball game. Where did that come from?
My goodness.
Well, flurry, now we got it down to 4. I tell you, they've been battling that 10 to 6, 10, 8, 7, back and forth, but all of a sudden that flurry brings it down to 4. And 2 possessions right now.
The combination of Caldwell, Kelly, and Pompey for Leominster in this fourth quarter has been absolutely electric. That trio has brought them back into this ball game and made this an absolutely epic game coming down to the last 94 seconds.
And that has been the most impressive part. You know, you were able to keep that lead tight at points, even though it was ballooning up to about 10. Leominster, though, hung around at that 10-point margin and then able to battle back into the basketball game, and the pressure has certainly helped.
And one of the things that we did make mention of, we've seen more often than not in this game, Leominster sticking with that fundamental systematic game plan. They are not able to keep things on the rails 100% of the time, but we've been seeing more often than not, they're not playing outside of themselves. You're not seeing errant passes. You're not seeing, insane turnovers all the time. And that has proven, that has shown, especially in this fourth quarter, keeping their wits about them has certainly helped.
Major found Horton and an outlet. Find Dakota. Dakota into the front court. Caldwell there. Major right on top of it as well.
Put it in your ball handlers.
And Major will run into Pompey, who is called for the block. 50-50 call there as Major had a full head of steam. Pompey was also there, and the ruling she slid into position.
Yeah, I think she was
is
moving.
the call for the block.
Didn't have her feet set.
Pompey picks up her first Leominster team limit.
1:23 to play in the fourth quarter, and Pompey at the line shooting 2.
Major.
Excuse me. Yes, Major shooting 2. Perhaps a Freudian slip. First one doesn't go.
Major 4 of 5 from the line in the fourth quarter.
And got that one up to go.
Still a 2-possession game, manageable right here, but you got to make this one work.
5 once again. This is Keenan. Drive to the lane, throws up the shot. It will not go.
5 bounces later.
No doubt about it. Leominster trying to bring that full court pressure. Caldwell bouncing back and forth, working by herself in the backcourt. Loose ball, now a trap. High part of the front court. Ball was heading out of bounds, got saved. Bosniak there, lost her feet, out of bounds, and the ball back to Leominster.
Wow, what a turnover right there. Under a minute to play. 2-possession game still, couple of threes.
57 7/10 left here in the fourth quarter in a 5-point basketball game. Caldwell tries to find Kelly, didn't secure the basketball, and Ramos comes away with it. Leominster tries to push the pressure. Caldwell got Major to give up the ball. Moved it up floor, finds Ramos, playing catch along the top of the key. Horton the turnaround, shot is short, out of bounds, back to Leominster. 33 9/10 left. Coaching staff looking for a deflection call. Perhaps the better argument was a foul call, because I don't know that she touched the basketball at any point.
Yeah,
Certainly got a lot of the wrist from where I am.
Oh,
But there is a turnover on the call, and the ball will go back to St. Paul.
Apparently there was a deflection on the shot.
Frustration on the Leominster bench. Perhaps the out-of-bounds call, though, as opposed to giving up the 2 free throws on what probably should have been a foul call.
Lesser of 2 evils.
Might be the lesser of 2 evils at this point. Shot for Dakota was a 3, doesn't go. Major the rebound. Double clutch. That goes. The lead has swelled to 7 again. 23 seconds left in regulation. Coach Pompey spends the timeout as he hustles up and down the floor.
He's getting his steps in.
Indeed he is. 21 9/10 left in this fourth quarter. 48-41, St. Paul's lead.
One of the things that if you are the St. Paul coaching staff on that last possession with 18 left on the shot clock and you're taking shot opportunities with the lead
I
that
thought
you've
the same
got.
thing on that long 3 that started that sequence with at least 15 seconds left in the shot
Gotta
clock.
hold that ball a little
Kind of
longer.
led to a jumble of sorts there, but led to 2 points eventually, which you can't complain about that.
I'll find a reason to complain about anything.
Well,
Give me a minute.
you're talking like a coach, though, Kate, and we're seeing things a little differently than the girls are out there on the floor. And, you know, sometimes you get the ball, you want to shoot it. You're not looking at the clock. Comes with maturity.
7-point basketball game. Leominster going to need to extend this game in some way, shape, or form. It's got to be make, followed by steal or foul, and then hope for some misses down the stretch here. This taking a little too long. It's Forsberg for Keenan. Now 13 seconds left here in regulation. Down to the final 10. It's Kelly for Pompey. Shoots the three. Side rim won't go. Dakota the rebound. It's Academic from here. Battle for the basketball is out of bounds. Back to St. Paul with 1.7 seconds left here in regulation.
Get an inbounds, and that'll be about it.
The inbound, and that's the way this will close. Final score here from the gym inside Leominster High School. It's St. Paul 48 and Leominster 41. The Knights will improve to 3-2. Leominster will fall to 1-4. This will be another one of those games for Leominster where it will be the conversation of what could have been.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Plenty of opportunities tonight for the Lady Blue Devils, just unable to score at the basket. You know, the number of steals, good defense. You know, good. I like the way the ball movement was tonight. A lot more ball movement than the last time we saw these girls play before Christmas, but just unable to score at the rim, and that's what shows up on the scoreboard at the end. Can't convert, no matter how good your opportunities are. Usually going to lead to an L.
I liked the continuity as well in
the
offense. It seemed more disciplined. It moved the way the ball movement went the way they would have planned it out.
I mean, they had plenty of opportunities, which I think they were lacking in the last time we saw them play. There was a lot of perimeter standing around, just half circle passing. I see some improvement. There's still a lot of work to do, though.
Indeed, there always something to work on at this point in time. But hey, Coach Frederick had said it to us before the season started. This is a young team that is gaining their sea legs, and you've seen just from that long layoff prior to the holiday, now into the new year, the maturation that you've seen, the comfort level on the floor. There has been noticeable growth in this team.
Yeah, and I see the maturity in the team, and you know, some better shot selection, but once again, it's just really about the ball movement. You got to teach the girls not to stand around. I think the more that they move without the ball, they will be more successful when they get the ball. Run the baseline, just pass and cut, pass and cut. You're not going to get the pass back every time, but maybe 1 out of 5, your defender's not going to fall. You're going to have a path to the basket. You just got to be repetitive. You got to do it over and over again. Your opportunities will come. You start converting, you'll start to see the fruits of your success.
48-41, St. Paul Diocesan over Leominster tonight here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We're just getting started here on RFM. Coming up, it's substitute, acting, interim. You pick your favorite name. It was coach by committee, nominee, and or volunteer of the night. Chris Pompey joins us courtside here as he steps in for head coach Rusty Frederick at home tonight. We'll talk to Coach Pompey after this. 48-41, St. Paul over Leominster tonight. More to come. This is RFM. Postgame continues courtside here on RFM. Todd Robbins here with you. Kate Robbins, Bill Thomas. We'll continue with you in a moment. Leominster, a 48-41 hard luck loser tonight here inside the gym at Leominster High School. We'll have Coach Pompey joining us here courtside in a moment. Stay with us. This is RFM. Back courtside here inside the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster, a hard luck 48-41 loss tonight to St. Paul Diocesan of Worcester. Joined now by Coach Pompey. And Coach, you found out earlier today you are getting kind of thrust into coach by committee, and lucky you volunteered. We sent Bill Thomas over to find out who would stand in for Coach Frederick on the post game, and you said, well, I've never been at a loss for words, so here you are.
As it turns out, I don't mind speaking in front of a microphone.
we appreciate that. Tough loss tonight, 48-41.
Tough loss for sure. Hard-fought loss against a good team. I know Coach Fredericks talks about it all the time, but we have such a young team, and at times it really rears its head. But I thought tonight they were spectacular in their effort. They never quit. They battled. They fought. They did things that you're not supposed to be able to do as a group of mostly freshmen and sophomores.
Sure.
They cut that lead, which was I think at one point got to 11, cut it to 4 and had the ball, and couldn't make any shots. Played hard on defense and didn't shoot free throws well and missed a couple bunnies, and that was the difference.
We talked about the scoreless first half of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And most people would say, gee, that would be concerning, except when your opposition also goes scoreless in the first half of the third quarter. So you had that halftime score still standing up at about that midway point of the
Correct.
third quarter, which created opportunities for you guys.
I did notice that. The girls played really hard and competed. Not to beat a dead horse, but we just didn't make enough shots.
Sure.
I mean, it's just such a, the game in general is a make or miss game. And as well as they played and competed and battled, we just couldn't get the ball to go. Missed a couple easy ones. A couple of our three-point shooters had good looks. Nothing went down. Some days that's the way it goes.
Sure. We talked about the development we saw from that Wachusett game before the holiday to where we are now here in the new year. And I think the thing that stood out to us on the broadcast tonight was that thing that Coach Frederick had pointed out. None of that scrambling was going on the floor on the offensive side of things. They maintained that discipline, and the ball movement seemed to be there.
A little better. Yeah, definitely a little bit better. We struggle sometimes when we put a lineup out that we say we want you running around like crazy on defense. That lineup then has to be able to then settle down when they get the ball back on offense. So I think we still struggle a little bit with that when we get that pressing lineup out there. But that pressing lineup got us back in the game. I thought a lot of girls really played really hard tonight. So it's a really disappointing loss.
Sure.
But we did know that this year was going to be a little bit of a learning year. And this doesn't change that. And I think you hit it on the head, a much better performance than the last time we were here against we were here against Oakmont too.
Yeah, in there as well.
Wachusett.
Sure.
So
The growth certainly is showing, and now here you go. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I think, for everybody, between weather and COVID and anything else the world can throw at the world of sports right now, some consistency may be coming up here. Some days of practice, the ability then to go back and play another game.
Yep, let's hope so. Back to work tomorrow, and then, like you said, hopefully game Friday against another tough team. So there's no rest. We right back at Shrewsbury, another good team. It's hard with a few of these teams because we haven't seen them play a lot, so we don't really know what to expect coming into games. And I thought the team today really took it to us with they played a little bit of a funky zone against us, and we struggled to adjust, and second half were much better. Forced them out of it. So we're going to see more of the same physical, aggressive play against Shrewsbury, and hopefully we come out on the right side of that one.
Certainly showing the cardio as well. The full court pressure through most of the game was impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the girls are working hard for sure. They're all in great shape, and they come to work every practice, all of them. So it's an outstanding group of girls.
More of that to come. Coach Pompey, thank you so much. We'll
My
continue
pleasure.
here courtside. Kate's final stats and a final word from here inside the gym at Leominster High School when we continue. This is RFM. Post-game continues here courtside on RFM. Todd Robbins, Kate Robbins, Bill Thomas will rejoin us in a moment as well for a final word. But first, Kate, we take a look at your final stats for the night.
All right, let's take a look first at team totals. For the Lady Blue Devils, the 7-point deficit is the difference maker in this one. It's a 48-41 final score in favor of St. Paul Diocesan, the Knights. Statistics for the team, they shot 7 of 16. That's the Lady Blue Devils from the line. That's 44%, 35 rebounds, 4 steals, 22 turnovers on the night. Scoring contributions from 6 different Lady Blue Devils. Caldwell ends the night with 8. She was 1 of 2 from the line. Nevard was 4 of 6 from the line. All 4 of her points coming from the free throw line. Kelly ends the night with a team high 13 points. She was 2 of 2 from the line. Forsberg ends the night with 7. Keenan ends the night with 2, and Pompey ends her night with 7 as well. Now, if we turn the tables to the St. Paul Knights side of the ball, once again, the 7-point victory for the Lady Knights. 10 of 16 is St. Paul from the line. They shot 63% from the charity stripe, 31 rebounds, 1 steal, 27 turnovers for St. Paul. Individual notable statistics for the Knights, they had 7 people on the stat sheet with scoring contributions. McCollum with 5 points on the night. She was 1 of 2 from the line. Ramos with 4 points. Major with a team high 20 points on the night. She was 6 of 9 from the free throw line, all by her onesie. 10 of her 20 points coming in the first quarter of play. Bosnijak ends the night with 11 points. Jen Tolucci ends her night with 1 point. Marcotte ends her night with 2 points. And Horton ends her night with 3 points. But again, the biggest statistic, the 7-point deficit that Leominster found themselves in, 48-41 your final score. St. Paul a victor over the Leominster Blue Devils tonight.
And they played very well tonight, and that's the, kind of the point you have to take in this St. Paul team that got ahead, and really they keyed off of Major. I mean, certainly the point total shows it, but she also had the command of the floor, and that to me, the command in her floor vision, her ability to, find the right players, and then know when she had to take and create for herself, play a combination of physical and aggressive all at the same time. She found her way, did Shirley Major, in order to be a factor in this basketball game, whether it was points or not.
Well, not only that, she did so with limited fouls. Till the fourth quarter, she didn't have a single foul on the night, and she was literally splayed out on the floor for half of the game, and she was remarkable. And like you said, second and third quarter for her, incredibly limited production on the scoring sheet from a scoring perspective, but everything, the heartbeat of that team, the tenor of that team, the drive of that team, the cadence, and kind of the swag of that team runs through Shirley Major, and you can actually see it when McCollum, the 8th grader, comes up and starts to take over when Major is off of the court and is able to elevate and bring her up as well. When you have multiple people able to contribute in that way, and it all runs through Major, just remarkable. Very, very impressive stuff.
Missed an opportunity to talk about it during the broadcast because she was in a little bit of foul trouble, but Natalie Horton, who, of course, is a big presence on the inside, accounted for 3 points of your total, Kate, and they were in the second half, which, of course, helps. But she's on her way to UMass Amherst as a Division I scholarship athlete, as a softball pitcher. Quite a tradition there. That is a big time compliment when you get that sort of an opportunity.
Danielle Henderson must see something pretty good there.
I was going to say, certainly Coach Henderson sees something that she likes coming her way, as well as we welcome back Bill Thomas. And Bill Thomas, obviously, we talked a little bit about Major. We talked a little bit about Horton there, and then you heard what Coach Pompey had to say tonight, as far as what he was seeing out there on the floor. And, he mentioned it. It's a hard-working team. Certainly we've seen that hard work pay off. He's mentioned, of course, and we talked a little bit about the cardio ability, their ability to get up and down the floor and play that kind of full-court, all-press, go style. You've got to be physically capable of doing it. And then add in the discipline as well. They certainly seem to have better command of the floor, and you got to give some credit here to a player off the bench. It's Nicole Kelly, the sophomore, who made her presence known.
Yeah, and if you saw while you were talking, I was moving your notes, Todd, because I was kind of looking for some names there.
Yes.
And that's what I was looking for. She really stood out tonight, and some of the underclassmen really played well tonight for both teams. I was really impressed by McCollum. I mean, to have an 8th grader on the floor for about 50% of the time, teaming up with your number one point guard, Major, and allowing her, McCollum, I'm talking about, to run an inbounds play numerous times, to have that kind of confidence in her. And for her to be successful, a couple of nice bounce passes under the basket on the baseline. I mean, Kate, you mentioned it numerous times here in the broadcast. She's going to be a fun girl to watch growing up the next 4 years. And she's, she's only going to get better. And having a Major 2 to her, I think this year is going to do wonders for her game next year, when she might end up stepping into the role that Major is playing right now.
I think you're absolutely
right.
right.
And imagine her for 4 years as the point guard. She's got some skills now. And she's going to be a major force in Central Mass in the next 2 to 4 years.
No pun intended.
And that's certainly development.
Yeah, a major force replacing Major.
And of course, when you then couple that with,
wait,
of course,
I want to add, and I don't want to let this girl, without giving her some kudos, what Bosniak did coming off the bench tonight. I didn't get her point total at the end, Todd. Kate, she must have been close to 10. I know she had 7 at the half. Yeah, the second highest scorer, I'm guessing, maybe, for their team off the bench. When you get that kind of support, that usually leads to good things on the scoreboard.
That's the difference in the score.
Exactly right.
Period.
And you don't expect that kind of contribution from a 6th or 7th player, wherever she came. I don't know if she was the first player off the bench, but she definitely made her presence known tonight.
Indeed, she did, and certainly it was notable, with commenting, of course, about that 8th grader in McCollum for St. Paul, and, of course, the younger players you're seeing from Leominster develop. What you see here is a really great developing rivalry between these two schools, and, of course, the Holy Name Leominster rivalry was always exciting, as was the St. Peter Marion Leominster rivalry. So kind of picking that up here, where these schools didn't get a chance to play each other last year because of course, the COVID pods that were put together. They were very regionalized. So Leominster didn't get a chance to see this team last year, a team that classifies itself enrollment-wise as Division III, but they play a Division I schedule, which means, of course, with the types of wins they're getting against the teams that they're playing that are larger than them, their
Big
playoff
points.
standing is certainly a good thing
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Coach Finneran and Coach Scarborough and Coach Andre.
And you know how one or two players can be important to the overall look of the team, no matter what division they're playing in. And so I think that plays out well for them going forward, playing that up schedule. They talked about we're a Division III team that wants to play the meat of the schedule, the tough teams in Central Mass, because we're not going to grow if we don't. Coming back to Leominster, and I caught some of the interview while I was roaming around, but, Coach Chris hit it right on the head. They played well in all aspects of the game. They just didn't score at the rim. They had a lot of good looks. They definitely had plenty of looks that would have made up 7 to 8 points, 9 points along the way. Just sometimes it seemed like there was a cap in that basket no matter how hard they tried. I think there was one sequence, 5 offensive rebounds. I'm not sure they still end up with a score at the end of that sequence, but that was really the story of the game, I think. Blue Devils had plenty of opportunities, but they just couldn't score at the rim when they had the good looks.
Next broadcast comes your way Friday night. It's Leominster and Shrewsbury on the boys' side of things. As we keep saying, weather and COVID permitting, but that is where the next game is scheduled. We'll have it for you here, where to find it coming up in a moment, but let's get a first opportunity. Kate, here, your first thoughts. Leominster and Shrewsbury getting back together for the first time in a couple of years. That certainly leads to good things, and of course, there's always this great strategic battle between Coach Machado and Coach Grutchfield for Leominster and Shrewsbury.
And you're absolutely right about that, and having not seen them, it's kind of like missing an old friend,
Sure.
So it's one of those things. I mean, it's become kind of a bit of a rivalry. Obviously, I have a soft spot for the Colonials anyway. So anytime I see them on the schedule, I get excited for that matchup as well. And so, Coach Machado always has his team rip-roaring and ready to go. Usually they out-height Leominster, especially in the paint. So be very interesting to see what type of personnel Coach Machado has, he himself being one of the big guys, so that's one of the things that he looks for. And Shrewsbury usually never lacking in height on that interior, and so we'll have to see if Leominster has been able to bounce back from, number one, COVID issues, and things have been kind of choppy for them over the last 2 weeks. Because of the winter tournament that they weren't able to play in, and then I believe St. Paul's was shut down this week, so their game today as well would have also been affected. So it's one of those things, we talked about it, it's a gauntlet right now. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Is it going to be no spectators? Is it going to be no practice? Is it going to be practice? Is it going to be a game? Is there going to be a bus? Right now, the world is a very strange place when it comes to just athletics and school and COVID and busing, and it is what it is, and it's one of those things where it's certainly going to build your character, that's for darn sure, but people are getting tired of it, I will tell you that. We're exhausted.
If resiliency is certainly the lesson that we often aim to teach in the educational process, we're all learning an extra lesson on resiliency thus far. Bill Thomas, that matchup, Shrewsbury and Leominster, as Kate alluded to, always a great battle between these two schools, and in 2019 we saw a couple of great meetings between them. It's always a perennial potential playoff matchup. It still will be now, that mid-watch, that district championship. Perhaps it is more something you could target toward that Samata tournament that you'll see as the kind of local Central Massachusetts athletic directors tournament that is going to take the place of the district playoff before we get into the statewide playoffs coming later in February. But it's always a peak. We know we'll see them at least one time. We're going to go on the road out to Shrewsbury again, where, of course, there was a great battle there a couple of years ago as well. So opportunities to see these two teams come together, always exciting.
I mean, great matchup. We always look forward to the Shrewsburys, the St. John's, even toss in the Algonquins, and of course Wachusett, the big three, the big four, the big five. They always bring the game. They're always playing above 500. You're going to have to play your best when you're playing one of those 2 or 3 teams. No doubt about it. Year in and year out, they're always in the top 2 or 3 in Central Mass. And I think it's great that they've gotten back together. Let's get away from these, keep playing the same 2 or 3 teams over again. Let's get back to that 8, 10 team schedule, play everybody twice, and really expand our horizons and get out beyond our local area that we've been kind of boxed into the last year or so. And I think it's great to get back to what we should call our regular traditional type schedule. Let's bring on the St. John's. Let's bring on the Algonquins, the Shrewsburys, the Wachusetts. That's really where our game is, Division I, and that's what we like to see.
And that's who comes back here inside the gym at Leominster High School on Friday night. That's January the 7th, 6:45. We're on the air to set the scene for you. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Right here, same place, facebook.com/Media Rivalry for live boys basketball coming up.
Weather permitting.
On Friday night. Yes, again, keep throwing in that keynote. Weather and COVID permitting. Assuming all of those things line up, that's where the action is for you. We mentioned, of course, coming up next week as well, we've got girls basketball action back with us next Tuesday. It's Leominster and Algonquin right here at the gym at Leominster High School. Again, a 7 o'clock tip-off, 6:45. We're on the air, streaming here on RFM. We're also on our radio home over on the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. So many ways to be a part of that one. On that same point, so many ways to watch. You enjoyed this one live, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. You can like and follow this page. Every time we go live, you'll get a notification to your smart-enabled device to catch the latest live action. Game is available, same-day delay, on demand on YouTube. It's youtube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or you follow that tiny URL. It's tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry for our archive going all the way back to when we started here on RFM a handful of years ago, and all of the great action that we're able to bring to you as well. Schedule updates, programming, news from around the region, and following some of the greatest reporters as well as some of the athletic directors that are out there as well. You want information on the region and high school sports, follow @Media Rivalry on Twitter. Like, follow, and subscribe today here inside the gym at Leominster High School and online and everywhere else in between. Kate is smashing that like button right here inside the
Still
gym
not a thing.
right now. It
Still not
is
a
a thing. 48-41 St. Paul over Leominster tonight in girls basketball action here on RFM. We thank you so very much for joining us. We look forward to being with you again on Friday night. But for the moment, for Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins saying Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. So much more fun and excitement coming your way with high school athletics here on RFM. Until Friday night, so long, everybody.